Hi, this is Dawn Grimshaw with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate and the Omaha Home Pros team. Now, I'm getting a lot of questions right now about what is the real estate market going to look like going into 2021. So, of course, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't say for sure what's going to happen, but I do have 20 years of experience in real estate, and I do a lot of research on market trends, and I feel like I have a pretty good handle on what we're probably going to be seeing throughout 2021. So right now we have a super low inventory level, and it's all supply and demand driven. So when you have very few houses on the market and you have a lot of buyers who are interested in purchasing a home, that leads to a very strong seller's market. So that's how we're seeing right now as we're heading forward. We're not seeing that changing anytime soon because, again, it's all supply and demand. So when we look at the houses on the market right now, we have about a 2-week supply. 2 weeks. To have a normal market, we need to have 3 to 6 months of supply, and to have a buyer's market, we need more than 6 months supply on the market. So when we only have 2 weeks on the market, that means literally thousands of houses could hit the market and we still would not be able to use up all of the supply with the demand that we have right now, which is, it's incredible. It's crazy. I've been doing this for 20 years and I have never seen a market like we're in today. And what's driving that market is a combination of things. Number one, we're seeing a lot of demand because people, they're quarantining, they need more space, maybe they're working from home, maybe they're homeschooling, so they need a home office, they need a yard so that they have some place to go. Maybe they don't have to be as close to the office as they used to, and so it's a good time for them to make that move to a different area within their community or even to another community right now. So that's driving a lot of buyer demand. Interest rates, they are record lows right now. So that means a lot of people can afford more home, and it's a great time to buy. With interest rates, they're hovering between 2.5% and 3% depending on the day and the type of loan and credit scores. But that is amazing. That is the lowest that I've seen in my entire career. And even if that trickles up just a little bit, it's still gonna be a great, amazing rate. And the Fed has already come out and said that they don't anticipate changing those rates for the next couple years. So that's gonna hold us at a low rate. It may not be as low as it is today, but still a very low rate for the next couple years. So you team low rates and lots of demand and not much inventory together, and then we create this huge seller's market that we have going on right now. So if you are a seller, it is a great time to jump into the market, get your house on the market, get top dollar. If you're a buyer, sometimes people say to me, well, maybe I should wait until the market cools off a little bit because I don't want to be in competition. I don't want to pay top dollar for a house. And I totally understand that. It's a very difficult market for a buyer right now. And I would love to tell you, wait 6 months or a year and that's going to change, but all of the economic indicators are saying that is not going to be the case. So I know you maybe have heard horror stories about, all these foreclosures are going to come on the market and that's going to drive prices down. Or maybe with the new administration, there's going to be some rules enacted or some laws enacted that are going to affect real estate. And in my opinion, that is not going to be the case, and especially not here in Omaha, Nebraska. So you may see some areas that are very tourist driven or very vacation kind of homes, or in areas maybe that people aren't as wanting to live in. They're not as desirable right now. Maybe some of those areas you will see some issues with increased foreclosures. Areas that have a lot of transient housing, that there's a lot of rentals. Maybe you'll see some issues there as some tenants have not been able to pay their rent, and that means that the owners can't pay their mortgage very easily right now. But in Omaha, Nebraska, we're seeing very low numbers of people even going into forbearance. And of those people who are going into forbearance, most of them do have a decent amount of equity in their house. So if they cannot work out something with their bank or they cannot catch that up, they could sell their home just like any other seller on the market, fair market value, and get some equity out of their home. Most of the banks are working with these people who went into forbearance, so we're going to see those people modify their loans but stay in their home. And so, we don't see a lot of increase in supply coming anytime soon. When you look at what's happened to the cost of building, those numbers have gone up astronomically over the last few years, and COVID has actually increased that even more. Supply and demand for supplies. You can't get lumber, you can't get whatever from the manufacturer, so that means the cost is higher, plus all of the tariffs that have happened. With this presidency, it's been more difficult to get things in from Canada and from other countries. So some of our costs for building materials have gone up even more because of that. And supply and demand, when there's demand, prices go up. Land costs more, it costs you more to get a lot. So if it costs more to build a house, we're not gonna see inventory levels increase in those lower price ranges, because you literally cannot build a house for less than about $300,000. There's a couple exceptions here and there, but for the most part, you're looking $300,000 and up, and that's gonna limit the number of buyers that can even purchase those. And even saying that, when you're driving around in the outskirts of town, you see tons of housing developments going up, lots of building happening, but that's all kind of in that 300, most of it 400,000 and up price ranges. And so for the typical buyer who might be a little bit less expensive than that, we're not gonna see any of those inventory levels change. And even for the new construction areas, we're still under where we need to be to service that price range. So supply and demand, not gonna change anytime soon. So I predict that 2021 is gonna be very similar to 2020. We're gonna see a lot of really strong appreciation, which is gonna be great for sellers. Buyers, the sooner you jump into the market, the better, because once you wait another 6 months, you wait another year, I mean, you could see price increases anywhere from 5% to 20%. We saw 20% appreciation over much of the market in 2020. So, you figure if we see that again next year, even if we see half of that, if we see 10% appreciation next year, that house is gonna cost you 10% more, and maybe the rates won't be quite as good as they are today. So I would love to tell you waiting's gonna help you, but it probably won't. So if you're thinking about buying, jump into the market today. If you're thinking about selling, never been a better time, probably never will be a better time. And especially if you need to move up to another house, cash in on getting as much equity out of your house right now and buy on the new one while the interest rates are low and before we see those values increase anymore. If you need help about how this is going to affect you directly, I would love to answer questions about your specific situation. So reach out to me anytime. I always want to be your resource for all things real estate. Again, this is Dawn Grimshaw with Omaha Home Pros team at Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate.